Welcome to the SMBAdvertising podcast, where our aim is to help 1 million small and medium-sized businesses to succeed with their advertising. My name is Mike Damjanovic. I'm an ad-line specialist and I'm the host of this really special podcast. My aim is really to inspire, to educate and to help all of you that are viewing and listening to succeed with your advertising. So today I'm really excited. We've got a very special guest joining us. He is the founder of Growth Lab, which is a marketing agency helping D2C brands and apps to scale profitably through TikTok and Meta advertising. Although they're a small and lean team, they specialize in helping small and medium-sized businesses grow their customer base, get more sales, and optimize for success. So I'm really happy to introduce you all to Nick Balaz. Nick, great to have you in the studio today. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me. How are you?
Yeah, really good. Perfect. It's our first time talking, and I'm really excited for this because we're going to also be covering TikTok, which you're obviously an expert in, and it's something that we've not touched upon on the podcast. So I think maybe just to sort of for us and our listeners and our viewers to sort of get to know you and to get Growth Lab, could you just sort of say a little bit about who you guys are and how you're helping your customers?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So who we are a marketing agency based out of Copenhagen, Denmark. We help in specific D2C brands, direct to consumer, mostly e-commerce brands, as well as apps scaled through both TikTok as well as Meta advertising. A lot of the clients that we've worked with in the past have been fashion brands as well as entertainment apps. For example, an app that we've recently helped with, we helped them scale the brand on TikTok. From around 37,000 users to close to 200,000 in the span of a couple months. And that's all done through the power of TikTok. So we love working with TikTok, we love working with Meta, and that's a little bit about what we do at least.
Amazing, yeah. So, I mean, when, at the moment there's a lot of talk going on with AI-generated ads, ChatGPT and things like that, but as far as I'm aware, and maybe you can also confirm this, but TikTok and Meta, they are still relevant. They are still here to stay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They're definitely there's lots of people that say, Facebook ads are dead. So much stuff going around, especially with the new AI, ChatGPT, everything like that. But 100% they're still around. We work with them every single day and we've seen the results that they could produce. So TikTok ads isn't going anywhere. I absolutely love working with TikTok. The power that TikTok has is absolutely incredible. Just one small thing can make you go viral. You just have to do it properly and know exactly what you're doing. The algorithms are not the same on Facebook as it is on TikTok. You need to know exactly what you're doing in order for it to succeed. So they're 100% here to stay and in my opinion, not going anywhere.
That's great to hear. So today we're going to be talking about the top tips for TikTok advertising now in 2023, and I think perhaps as you've got your customer base, maybe we could start with some of your key strategies that you're going to be using for your customers now in 2023.
Yeah, for sure. So there's definitely a lot of things that we really want to focus on going over into the new year. To name some stuff in specific is when it comes to TikTok, the most important thing to have successful ad campaigns is the creatives that you're going to be using. You could be the best advertiser in the world, but if you're working with the creatives that are not good and not high quality, your ads are not going to be effective no matter how good you are. So going forward into the new year, we're really going to be doubling down on understanding who our customers' audiences are, who they sell to, exactly what they like, what they don't like, how they behave, and mirror that into the creatives that we're generating. Because if you have amazing creatives that are really, conveying your message across to your audience, then you will 100% succeed on TikTok if you do it properly. So going over into the new year, we're definitely going to be doubling down on content creation, figuring out new ways to create new hooks, new angles, and we're going to be using the help of like you mentioned earlier, there's the whole AI, ChatGPT, and we're planning on implementing that internally as well to come up with better ideas on how we can come up with different angles and strategies mostly on the creative side of things. So it all kind of leads back to the creative thinking inside of TikTok. Like I said, if you don't have the proper creatives, you won't succeed on TikTok. So we're really going to be doubling down on making proper content for our clients going forward.
Awesome. Just a quick question around that then. For us as well, for our customers here in Adline, we've said that in 2023 it's the year for creativity. It's the year to really work on your creatives. So that kind of goes hand in hand in what you've said with TikTok. But do you need to create a lot of creatives on TikTok, or is it quality over quantity, or is it actually a mix of both?
It's a mixture of both for sure. It's definitely a quality and quantity. The TikTok algorithm, you need to obviously feed the fire for it to keep growing and keep performing, keep being profitable. However, with that said, depending on, of course, what budget you're working with, et cetera, if you have really solid quality content that has an amazing hook, an amazing script, and amazing storytelling in the actual creative itself, I would say quality is more important than quantity. However, you will, of course, need to be refilling creatives. Most likely, what we do as the best practice is refill creatives bi-weekly to really just keep feeding the fire. But it's really all winning creatives. You can find a winning creative on TikTok by testing 3 creatives, as long as you know exactly who your audience is and who you're selling to and their behaviors, really.
Oh, that's really great. That's really valuable input. So I just want to ask one more thing then, just when we're on the creatives. Last year I attended several conferences, and some of the speakers were saying that for a company to be successful, that you have to have, I think it was something like a minimum of $5,000 per month with TikTok. Is that something that you typically see, or is that was that way off, or is that too little, or?
No, it's completely it completely depends on exactly what you're selling, of course, and how much your product cost is, et cetera. But from what I've seen with my past clients, if you're looking strictly on paid for TikTok, you can still get results on a smaller budget. For example, a lot of people that we're working with, they want to start off on a smaller budget. So we usually start off at around $100 a day, $3,000 a month. You're still able to see results with that budget. However, if you want to see results quicker and start testing different creatives quicker and testing different audiences, obviously it usually is around that mark and everything beyond there where you're going to be able to see those real results. But when it comes to TikTok, like, it's not just the paid side of things that will make you grow on TikTok. You could also grow organically, very, very, not easily, but if you do it properly, you could also grow organically on TikTok for completely free if you just produce the right content. So it definitely ranges from company to company, but I would say that there's definitely some truth to that the quicker you want to see the results, and if you want to be able to test things quicker and move forward, then yeah, usually around that or anything beyond. However, obviously you can still get results with less.
Okay, and I guess that leads nicely on to the next question, because I think there's a lot of misconceptions around advertising with TikToks. Do you want to shed some light on those?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of misconception when it comes to running ads on TikTok. I think there's a whole lot of stuff I could talk to when it comes to misconceptions, but I think one misconception when it comes to the actual running ad side of things on TikTok is that people try to copy and paste exactly what they're doing in Facebook into TikTok, because they think their strategies on Facebook ads are going to work on TikTok ads. However, your audience on TikTok is going to be different than your audience on Facebook, as well as the creatives that you're using on TikTok are going to be completely different than your creatives on Facebook. I've seen lots of people try to use, for example, branded videos, different stuff like that on TikTok, and it doesn't work, because you really need to make native TikTok content for your ads. And when I say native TikTok content, it's make ads that look like a TikTok, not like an ad. And that's really what we try to focus on, is making native TikTok content and using that for advertising. So that's one misconception, is definitely, I think, in my opinion, thinking that if it's working on Facebook, that you can do exactly what you're doing on Facebook and copy it into TikTok. And some other misconceptions is that your target audience isn't on TikTok, because lots of people think TikTok, that's only for, let's say, 18 to 22-year-olds, et cetera. And although there are a lot of those audiences on TikTok, it's not like they're not there. Obviously, the majority of them is there. However, just by looking at stats and reading different articles, I think in 2022 they came back stats that I think like 40% of the actual customer base on TikTok was like 37 plus. So your audience is there, and it all comes down to how you're targeting them, what kind of content you're making. So I think those are definitely the main misconceptions, is that TikTok ads is just like Facebook ads, as well as it's just there's a lot of different stuff that we can go through, but those are definitely the main ones that I can think about at least.
Yeah, I think we've heard similar as well. So if there's someone that's listening to this episode and they're completely new to TikTok ads, they have a company, maybe it's e-commerce, it might be an app, it could just be a small startup company. What would be your one top piece of advice for that listener in terms of getting started with TikTok?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think the number one thing that I would do before I got started on TikTok ads and TikTok in general is really, it kind of leads back to my first thing that I mentioned about understanding your audience and understanding who you're actually selling to and what they like, what they don't like, how they behave, really understanding your target audience on TikTok. And I think the best practice, in my opinion, to really, if you want to see success right away when it comes to TikTok, is do your research, like I mentioned, figure out exactly who you're selling to, as well as invest time and invest resources into making high quality UGC content that you can use for your advertising, and really using that to your advantage, and use that not only to grow on the paid ad side of things, but also on the organic ads, on the organic side of things. So I think the main piece of advice that I'll give to anyone who's starting on TikTok is understand exactly who your customers are, what their needs are, and mirror that into the content that you're going to be creating, and use extra time on making the content, because the content and the creatives really are key when it comes to TikTok.
That's amazing. So I have just one more question, which might be slightly difficult to answer. But you gave this example now of spending $100 per day, $3,000 per month. If there's a company that is thinking, okay, 2023, we're going to be starting with advertising on TikTok, but we're going to be spending less than 100, would you advise that company to maybe wait until they're in a position where they can advertise at that level?
Yeah, it's a good question. I would say that if you have a smaller budget than that, it's better than doing nothing, in my opinion. It completely depends. If you're going to be spending $5 a day, maybe wait a little bit until you have more budget to be spending. But I still think that it's 100% better than doing nothing when it comes to running ads, because you will still be showing your ads to audiences out there. It just won't be on the same scale as anyone else, of course. But in my opinion, I would use that time to test things and test exactly who your audience is going to be, and test what creatives are going to work and what creatives are not going to work. And then once you start getting some skills, slower, start reinvesting that directly back into your ads and start scaling slowly. But I still think, to answer your question, it depends. It depends exactly how much they're actually going to be spending. But I do think it's going to be better than doing nothing. You have to do something to get yourself out there. At least start trying to grow organically and come up with some content to grow organically on TikTok. Because one piece of content, organic on TikTok, if you have the right hook and you have the right video, that one free piece of content that you generate might generate more sales than spending money on ads. So I would consider still doing it, but I would probably more consider going the organic route first and understanding exactly, who's going to buy your products and trying to get sales that way until you get enough to start investing more. That was kind of two things I said there, but I hope that made sense.
Yeah, that's sound advice, really good. So, I mean, there we have it, really. We have some key strategies that you and your customers are going to be using now in 2023. You've helped us address some misconceptions, which I think the one with the different ages is something also is the same with Facebook or Meta. A lot of people are saying it's just the older generation, but actually there's still a lot of young people there.
It is, for sure.
And then obviously your top piece of advice for listeners to getting started with TikTok. So Thank you so much for coming to the studio today, Nick. It's been really great having you.
Absolutely. It was an honor.
We're going to be linking to your LinkedIn, maybe even a link to your TikTok. And
Awesome.
Obviously we'll be linking to Growth Lab so that our listeners or viewers, they can get in contact with you if they have further questions. But there we have it.
Good.
Top tips for TikTok advertising in 2023 with Nick Balaz. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.